guys, welcome to my channel, to Life Besides Layla. I'm really nervous to film this video because it's really personal, and I'm a very open person. A lot of people know this, but about this stuff I do talk about it, but I don't go into detail, and today I'm going to go into quite a lot of detail about how I was feeling, what I was experiencing, anger, sadness, you know. Bear with me if I get a bit emotional. It's really hard to talk about because this is what set off everything for me. So here we go. So I'm going to be talking about my first miscarriage. Now, I've had a few miscarriages since I was young. I have a lot of problems, but I'll get into those problems in a different video. That's like a whole nother game video. That's just a whole nother just thing to dive into there. But this one hurt me the most. This was the biggest one that affected a lot of people around me, that affected myself, that affected my partner. You know, miscarriage is a really hard thing to go through. As women, you know, it's just, you have to experience a miscarriage to understand what it's like. But I'm going to try and explain to others that haven't, you know, so you know how it really does feel, how it's a very hard thing to go through. So I'll start my story. I was 15, just turning 16, so I was in year 10 when I found out I was first pregnant. I remember I was at my partner's house. I took 3 or 4 tests and they all came out positive, and I was freaking out because, one, I was doing things behind my parents' back, which I shouldn't have been doing, but you know, things happen, and I didn't know what to do at that time. I didn't want to be pregnant. Getting pregnant wasn't even in my head. I never thought about babies. I took care of all my younger siblings quite a lot, so it kind of scared me away from having babies at that point. And so when I found out, my partner was there and I was crying, and you know, you just don't know how to feel when you find out you're pregnant and you're 15. There's nothing wrong about having children at 15. You know, I know some great mums that are young that have had babies and they're amazing, but me, mentally, I was not ready. I was selfish, which, you know, I can say this because when I look back now, I'm like, oh yeah, it was just kind of me and my partner. I wouldn't be able to look after a little one. So yeah, found out, it was crazy. I said, we need to go to family planning, we need to get an abortion. I can't do this, but we have to do it behind my parents' back. My parents cannot find out that I'm pregnant. So I remember going home, acting like everything was okay. This pregnancy took a different toll on my body, so I found out I was about 6 weeks. My feet were really swollen. I was craving sausage rolls big time, and I know, you know, 6 weeks isn't that far around, like, along, so I don't know why I was experiencing this so early. Sorry, I'm sick, messing up things. Yeah, so my feet were swollen, my back hurt, and I was craving. But I remember first going into the doctor's office at family planning in Takapuna, and they were telling me, what do you want to do? You are pregnant, this is, you know, you've got your options, what do you want? And I said, I just want an abortion. I don't want to have this. I don't want to experience it. I didn't feel any emotional attachment. I wasn't excited that I was pregnant. I was actually really scared and really worried. So I was waiting, you know, because it's a long process. You have to go have an examination done, scans, then you have to have like a talk with family planning, like a therapist, to see if this is actually what you want or is this what other people want. But you know, I was prepared to do all this. So that was the plan. It was pretty like boom boom boom. You know, one thing would be done and the next thing would be done, and I was just dealing with the pregnancy feelings through that. I was also getting drunk because I think I was so stressed. I don't smoke and I don't drink. I'll tell you that right now. I am not a smoker, weed or cigarettes, and I am not a drinker. I actually don't like alcohol at all. I haven't got drunk since I would have been about 16. So I was so stressed, and I remember getting drunk on my 16th. I got really drunk because I was like, I'm not gonna keep this baby, doesn't really matter, and I fully regret that now. I don't like my choices that I made then, thinking about how much, you know, how amazing life is. I really regret what I was doing then. So yeah, that happened. Then I went to my because when you're in high school, they have counsellors, and I used to use counsellors a lot to get out of classes. And so I went there, but I was feeling sick. I was having little cramps, but now that if I think about it now, it's more like your body's getting used to holding this little baby in you. So I went there and I said, I'm having cramps and stuff, and I went back to family planning, and because they thought I was more further along than I was, but they couldn't find the baby. So the baby was there, but it was smaller, only because I was earlier than they thought. So they're like, oh, if this is true, you might be having an ectopic pregnancy, you're having these complications, you're feeling this way. But none of that was true. I was just earlier than they thought. So I told my counsellor this at Westlake Girls. She really... That's a whole nother story too. But I'm going to include this. There will be names included in this, but not all of them, because I'm not going to shame people out, but I just want people to know how horrible some people can be. So I told my counsellor, I said, I'm not feeling good and everything, and she was like, you need to go to hospital, you need to tell your parents. And I said, yeah, I am going to tell my parents, but just when I'm ready. I'm not ready right now. And they're like, you need to tell your parents, we're going to call and tell your parents. I said, no, you can't do that, this is my personal business. You can't tell my parents. I will tell them when it's right, because it will just escalate if things went bad. And they're like, no, I'm going to call your parents. So they went and called my parents. Now, I was actually sitting in the chair screaming. I was crying because I was so scared to tell my parents. My partner was at work, I was at school, and so she called and she's like, oh, your daughter's pregnant. You need to take her to hospital. And I was like, well, thank you. Thank you for telling my parents that without me telling them myself, because they've already told me this not so long ago. If I told them that I was pregnant, things wouldn't have gone the way they did. But it's because the school went and told them and kind of embarrassed them in a way, which I completely understand now. That's what escalated things. So I fully blame Westlake's counsellor for that, because I feel like she didn't have a right to forcefully tell my parents that I'm pregnant when I told her I'm going to tell them, and she just went ahead and did it. And I mean, there might be, reasons that they can do that or whatever, but I don't agree with that. That was really horrible. They made a situation that is big, but turned much bigger. So feelings with that. But, so my parents found out. My dad was really mad. Like, I think it was more disappointed than mad. It took me home, told my mum, I was they were fighting over me. I was saying, this is my fault, this is my fault. So I went to the hospital screaming, crying. I was a mess. I was a full-on mess. I told my partner, don't come over here for a bit. Things are a bit heated. Just wait till things cool down. And so I was screaming. So this is where I'm going to start. I don't actually know the names of these people, but they know who they are. And if they watch this, they will know what they done. But I'm just going to say it bluntly. I had a nurse there who, the people that enroll you into the hospital, that ask where you live, when you go to school, whatever. They were there and they were like, oh, you go to Westlake. I have a daughter at Westlake. And I said, oh, well, that's cool, not the time to talk to me about this. I'm a bit of a mess, but thank you anyway. Bye-bye. So, they told me, yep, you're pregnant. We need to sort you out a midwife. We need to do all this for you. And I said, okay, sweet. So keep in mind, I'm still really stressed. And my parents, so yeah, still really stressed. My parents calmed down. We talked about it. They said we will fully support you. You don't have to get an abortion, you know, we can keep this baby, everything will be okay. And I was like, okay, if you guys fully support me, I'm not going to go through with the abortion, I'm going to have this baby. Things calmed down, boyfriend came over, talked to my parents, but I was still really stressed. And mind you, this whole situation was really stressful for me. Like, I've never been that stressed, that scared in my life. So yeah, that was all good, everything was calm. Until one day I was sitting on the couch and I started getting these cramps, like light cramps. And I went to the bathroom and I kept having heaps of blood, and I yelled out to my mum and I said, well, is this normal? I'm fully bleeding. And she said, that's not normal, the amount of blood I was bleeding, you know, that was coming out. And then the cramps just got worse and worse and worse. And I didn't actually know about miscarriages as much. Like, yeah, I didn't actually, now that I think of it, I didn't really know much of that. Yeah, so it was bleeding. I went in the shower, the blood was running down my legs. And tell you, the feeling that I felt right at that moment, I was like, oh, okay, this isn't going to go very well. I still can't get the image of how much blood is coming out of me at that stage. So I went rushed to the hospital. Every little bump on that road set off a massive cramp. It was the most painful right there. I was crying, my partner was cuddling me, my mum was like, it's okay, you know, it's fine, don't worry about it, you know, just relax. Got to the hospital and they were like to me, well, you're miscarriaging, your numbers, so when you're pregnant you have levels of the hormone for pregnancy, baby brain right now, so I don't remember the name, but yeah, you have like levels, and mine were going down. So they told me, you know, you're miscarriaging, you need to relax, the best thing to do is chocolate, sleep it off, have some painkillers. So they prescribed me really strong ones. I was crying because at that point I was slowly getting attached to this baby because everyone was so accepting of it then. So, oh, the pain, the hurt, it was like, have you ever had a feeling when you're so hurt about something that you actually feel it? Like, it's like a physical pain in your heart. So I was just a wreck. And I was like, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. I didn't understand a lot of things. So I keep remembering that nurse that said that she had a daughter at Westlake Girls. I just want to put that there, remember that. So I didn't talk to all my friends that whole week. My partner was there, I was rocking that whole week, crying. He had to carry me to the toilets, he had to help me change my pads because I couldn't move, my whole body was like frozen. He was such a big help then, he was so good, he took that whole week off to look after me. I was just really bad. I don't know how to describe it. It really hurt me, and it just didn't feel like it was getting better through that week until I finally was like, okay, I'm gonna go have a shower. Not finally, I had showers that week, but my last shower I was like, okay, I'm gonna go have one. And when I was sitting there, something dropped out and I was like, what? I haven't seen that before, what is that? And it was this little purple, this is kind of gruesome, a bit detailed, so you can skip this bit or listen, whatever, you know, I'm just saying all the truth, what actually happened, what I was feeling. But this little, I would say it was about that big, it was like a little circle glump thing, and it was purple and it was solid, and I just looked at it and I said, well, that's my baby, there my baby goes. And because after that my cramps slowed down a lot. It wasn't as painful, it wasn't, you know, the physical pain was kind of going, but seeing your little egg, even though, you know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, it's cells, it's not a baby, but you know, it's still someone little. And I just looked at it and I was like, wow, okay, that hurt my feelings so much, and I couldn't even, it just set off this whole ball of emotions that I didn't know I had. I've been through some stuff, but this was the hardest on me. Sorry. Okay, so told my partner, I was like, I'm pretty sure my baby just went down there. You know, he was like, oh, we're gonna get through this, it's okay. Because, you know, when my parents were like, it's okay, we will look after you, you know, we will do all this, me and him started talking. We're like, we're gonna have a baby, you know. If it's boy, we can call it this. Oh, call him this. If it's girl, we can call it this. You know, we started saying we can do this. And then it just hurts so much when you just watch your baby just go down the drain. You know, it's just, it's hard. So I had that week off school, and then I went back to school. And I was telling my friends, you know, thank you guys for supporting me. Sending me loving messages. I couldn't message you guys back because I wasn't in the right mindset. So I was still hurting. I was hurting so bad that I couldn't talk about it. Then things got worse. So a lot of people knew about my miscarriage because this nurse, so this is completely illegal, and my parents were so strong on taking this woman to court. I was going to mess their life up because they just, there's like law against, you know, telling, you know, doctors and nurses telling their family members or friends or whatever about patients' personal information and stuff like that. But this nurse had the audacity to tell her daughter, which is in Westlake, which I know who she is, and I've walked past her many times, and the temptation just to, oh, okay. Told her nurse my name, that I miscarried, because Westlake isn't as, well, there's a lot of gossip, there's a lot of crap that goes down there, but nothing, you know, when someone falls pregnant there, it's just like, whoa, this person's pregnant, this person's pregnant. So her daughter went and told her friend, and that friend went and told everyone else. Now I had so much anger for this girl, the friend, but I don't anymore, you know, you get over things. Because they don't understand. Clearly they have not been through a miscarriage or had anything happen to them big like this for them to understand the painful things that come with telling other people. So the whole school knew my situation. They knew what I'd been through. Everyone was talking about me behind my back. Making things worse, I used to run into the bathrooms crying because, you know, you're hurting. You're hurting. And then everyone's talking about you like, you know, it's so easy for them to be like, yeah, that's the girl that lost her baby. But they don't know. So, you know, they were just walking around their day, like nothing happened, like it's just, you know, a normal gossip thing. And then I'd see them around school, and they would look at me and put their head down because they know that they went and told everyone. And I'm not shaming them. I feel like I don't want people to think that I'm still mad at them. At this point, it's forgiven, it's done. But that whole term was so painful for me. I've never cried so much in my life than I did for that term of school. But, you know, things happen, and this is just life. And what hurts me more is that miscarriage set off a lot in my life. When I lost that baby, I wanted another one. I felt like that was taken away from me, so I kind of want to have another baby. And because I've had many miscarriages after that one, but this one was the one that set the ball off, you know, set my medical problems off, set my feelings. It's like, it just changes your brain, and I was so hurt for so long. It really hurt me, and it still hurts me now. You know, I have Layla, and I feel extremely blessed to have her. She's my everything. But that was painful, not because I went through this, not because I saw it, my baby come out, not because the emotional pain that my family went through because of it, not because what my boyfriend went through, but because, you know, so many people were talking about it like it's just nothing, you know? It's, sorry. It just sets off so many feelings for me, and it hurts me so much, and it's just, I don't understand why some people just do that. But you know, I can't do anything about it now. It's happened how many years ago, so we just got to move on from it. And I'm just happy to share with you guys that it's okay. You know, miscarriages do hurt. It doesn't matter how early along you were, you still fell pregnant. You were still pregnant, and it hurts so much. But it's okay. Like, you know, you do heal, you do accept it, and you just move on. And I know it seems hard to say now, whoever's going through it now, but it's, you know, it's just something us girls go through. But I'm happy to open up to you guys so you actually know how it does hurt and how it does affect. And I hope the people that spread around what I went through listen to this and understand how much it hurt me and how much it caused me pain for that whole term, even longer. Like, it still hurts me now, because I don't know what they were saying. Like, people can make up a whole story about you that's not true, so they could have twisted the whole situation. But that's all for my video today, and I am thinking about doing my other miscarriages because it was all a different experience for each one. But let me know if you guys want to hear more about it, if you want to hear more emotional, you know, things that actually have happened to me. I really do appreciate your love and support that you guys have been giving me, and especially in my labour video, because honestly that made my day. The love made my day. But thank you guys so much for listening. Like and subscribe and comment. You know, feedback is always good for this sort of things, and if you've had an experience, you can message me and talk about it. I've had my fair share. I'm willing to listen. So thank you guys so much, and see you.